Alrighty, folks, we cashed in on 6 winning tickets on my premium page Friday, with one game still in progress. And the only way you could have accessed all of those winning plays is to join my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club package. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. We also improved to 3-0 in our last 3 NBA tier package plays as well. Unfortunately, we did drop our chairman play. Going to move us to 7-1 in our last 8 plays in that package. I apologize about that, guys. Got to do a better job than that. That one's on me. Don't feel great about that one. Now, before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Saturday, April 5th, 2025. Happy Saturday to you. Hopefully you had a great start to the weekend. And of course, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Of course, if you don't need access to all of my premium selections, but maybe you could use like one a day, you may want to think about signing up for my daily best play. It costs just 6 cents a day for 30 days worth of access. I also have plenty of free content on my premium page, including my current overall win-loss record. You can access that there right now in the post section. Just keep scrolling down if you can't find it. I currently have over 2,295 members who are signed up and active on my premium page right now. With that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some college basketball. We're going to start off with that Nebraska-Boise State matchup, 1:30 p.m. East. Boise's -2, totals 154.5. Now, the Broncos are 26-10 on the year. Nebraska 19-14. And more recently, the Cornhuskers took the loss in 6 out of their last 9. Having a tough time guarding the deep ball this year. They're allowing double-digit 3 balls a game, struggling grabbing defensive boards. Meanwhile, Boise on the other side, they've done a nice job of rebounding on the offensive end of the floor this year themselves. Top 20 in free throws per game. Tyson Degenhart, he's averaging 18 points a night, 52% from the field. And Andrew Meadows, he's scoring a dozen points a game himself, 83% from the stripe. Boise saw overs against the likes of Butler, George Washington, and Air Force. Meanwhile, Nebraska games went 5-4 to the over in their last 9 themselves, throwing out that Georgetown contest. I like Boise State -2 over 154.5. Next game, Central Florida taking on Villanova, 4 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Nova's -3, totals 156. Villanova's 20-14 on the year, UCF 18-16. Now, the Knights are making just 42% of their attempts from the field. They rank 323rd in that category. And like I said about UCF the other day, it's a team that needs volume. They need to shoot a lot of baskets. They need to keep it high-paced because their field goal percentage is, down so much. And I do look, for Villanova to slow down the pace a little bit. I mean, defensively, they've allowed only 67 points a game this year. They rank 13th in defensive boards. Now, Nova games went 60% to the under in their last 10. UCF with unders recently against Oregon State, West Virginia, and Oklahoma State. I like Villanova -3, under 156. Next contest, the Big Boy Tournament. Final 4, Florida, Auburn, 609 East. Florida's -2.5, totals 160. Of course, don't really need to tell you, but both programs with plenty of firepower on the offensive end of the court. Walter Clayton, he's averaging 18 points a game for the Gators, 86% from the foul line. And Elijah Martin, he's averaging 14.5 points a game himself, 4 boards, couple assists for him. Now, Florida saw overs in their last 10 straight outings. Meanwhile, Auburn on the other side with overs recently against Creighton, Alabama, and Texas A&M. Janai Broom's averaging over 18.5 points per contest, double-digit rebounds for him. And Chad Baker-Mazara is averaging a dozen points a night himself, 88% from the foul line. I like the over 160. All right, next and final college basketball breakdown. Houston-Duke, 8:40 p.m. East. Duke's -5, totals 136.5. Now, Duke with unders recently against Alabama, Louisville, and North Carolina. They're limiting opposing shooters to just 38% from the field this year. Meanwhile, Houston on the other side, well, they've been impossible to score against. They're allowing only 58 points a game this year themselves. Unders in 7 out of their last 9. I like the under, 136.5. All right, moving on, some NBA action. Knicks, Hawks, 3 o'clock Eastern tip-off. New York's -3.5, totals 236. The Knicks are 48-28 on the year. Atlanta 4 games below 500 themselves. And more recently, the Hawks dropped 4 out of their last 5 games. They gave up 123 points per contest on average during that stretch. That's not overly shocking. The Hawks have the second highest defensive field goal percentage in the entire NBA. And they're facing a top 5 field goal shooting team in the Knicks in this one. Karl Anthony Towns averages 24 points a game, 42% from three-land. And OG Anunoby, he's scoring over 17.5 points per contest himself. 4 boards, couple assists for him. The Knicks got the W in 5 out of their last 7. Now, injury-wise, Payne and McBride are questionable. Brunson's still banged up. Meanwhile, for the Hawks on the other side, Trae Young's day-to-day. Got to keep an eye on him. If he doesn't suit up, this game can certainly take a different turn. Now, total-wise, Atlanta games went 8-1 to the over in their last 9. New York with overs recently against the Bucks, Clippers, and Mavericks. I like the Knicks -3.5, over 236. Next game, Grizzlies, Pistons, 7 o'clock East. Memphis is the 1-point favorite, total 239.5. Both teams with their fair share of guys who can get to the cup. Ja Morant, or is it more like a machine gun? I don't know. Machine gun Ja Morant. He's averaging over 22.5 points a game, 4 boards, 7 assists. And Jaren Jackson, he's scoring 22 points a night himself. Now, Detroit on the other side, they're in the top 10 in field goals, top 10 in free throws made. Malik Beasley averages 16 points a game, 42% from outside the perimeter. And Jalen Duren's 69% from the field, double-digit rebounds for him. Detroit saw overs in 5 out of their last 8. Now, Harris, Cunningham, and Ivy still hurt for Detroit. Williams and Poland banged up for Memphis. I like the over, 239.5. Next matchup, T-Wolves, Sixers, 7 o'clock East. Minnesota's -14.5, totals 225. The T-Wolves are 7 games over 500, 22-16 on the road. Meanwhile, Philadelphia's 31 games below 500 themselves, just 26-51 against the point spread. Now, Philly failed to cover in their last 9 straight. They haven't won a ball game in a real long time. They're currently dead last in defensive field goal percentage. And they're facing a Minnesota squad who loves to shoot the long ball. Over 15 made three-pointers a game for them. Top 5 in offensive three-point percentage. Anthony Edwards drills 40% of his deep balls, 27 points a game for him. And Julius Randle averages over 18.5 points per contest himself. 7 boards, 4 assists. Both teams with overs in 7 out of their last 10 respectively. I like the Timberwolves -14.5, over 225. Next contest, Bucks, Heat, 8 o'clock East. Milwaukee's -2, totals 216. Now, the Bucks are 9 games above 500, covered in 6 out of their last 8. Milwaukee's currently 6th in the league in defensive field goal percentage. Really doesn't send a whole lot of shooters to the line. They're actually in the top 10 and fewest free throws allowed. And they're facing a Miami team who really doesn't get to the line much themselves, 25th in points per game. Hero, Rozier, and Jovic are day-to-day. Wiggins and Love slated to be out. Meanwhile, for the Bucks, Giannis and Green are questionable. Dame Lillard still nursing a groin injury. The Bucks saw unders against Sacramento, LA Lakers, and Golden State. Meanwhile, 5 out of Miami's last 8 stayed under the total themselves. I like the Bucks -2, under 216. All right, next and final NBA breakdown. Mavericks Clippers, 10:30 p.m. East. Now this game's currently off the board. The Clippers allow just 107 points a game on defense, third in the league in steals. They're also rebounding well on defense, and they're limiting opposing teams to just 13 made three balls a game. I like the Clippers money line. All right, Major League Baseball action. White Sox Tigers, 1:10 Eastern first pitch. Detroit's minus 225, total 7.5. Reese Olson on the bump for the Tigers. Davis Martin for Chicago. Now, Martin had a dominant spring and a dominant season opener, a season debut. No runs over 4 hits and 6 innings of work. Currently has a whip of 1 even. And he's facing Reese Olson, who got knocked around a bit in his season opener himself. 4 earned runs allowed, including a homer. Not really expecting a ton of runs in this one, but I do think Chicago can get a few against Olson. I like the White Sox, plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. Next matchup, Padres Cubs, 2:20 p.m. East. Chicago's $1.20, total 7. Matthew Boyd for Chicago, Nick Pivetta for San Diego. Now, Pivetta threw 7 scoreless innings in his last start, just 1 hit, a couple of strikeouts in that outing. Of course, at the plate, Fernando Tatis, he's off to a hot start. Merrill and Machado with double-digit hits themselves. I think the Pods can get all over this Cubbies bullpen. Give me the Padres plus $1 over 7. Next game, Yankees-Pirates, 4:05 East. The Yankees are minus $1.55, totals 9. Marcus Stroman for New York, Bailey Falter for Pittsburgh. Now the Buccos are just 2-6 on the year. Actually had a 9-4 loss to the Yankees on Friday. They're facing a Yankee lineup who's averaging 8.9 runs a game thus far. Handful of guys who are pounding the baseball. Aaron Judge has 6 homers already, 17 RBI. And Ben Rice, he's hitting .350 with an OPS in the 1200s. The Pinstripers saw overs in all of their contests this year except for 2. I like the Yankees minus $1.55, over 9. Next contest, Dodgers-Phillies, 4:05 East. Philadelphia's minus $1.15, totals 8.5. Aaron Nola for the Titans, Roki Sasaki for Los Angeles. Got ourselves a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel in this one. Friday night's game fell under the total. I think we see more of the same here on Saturday. Give me the under 8.5. Next contest, Diamondbacks Nationals, 4:05 East. Arizona's minus 135, totals 8.5. Eduardo Rodriguez for Arizona, Mitchell Parker for Washington. I really like these Arizona bats in this one. Eugenio Suarez with a handful of homers, double-digit RBI. And Geraldo Perdomo has double-digit ribbies himself. Of course, Arizona saw overs in most of their games this year. Give me the Diamondbacks minus 135, over 8.5. All right, next contest. Rays, Rangers, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is minus $1.80, total 7.5. Jacob deGrom for the Rangers, Taj Bradley for Tampa Bay. Now, Bradley looked good in spring, and he looked good in his first start of the regular season. Just 2 runs through 6 innings of work. Officially has a .83 whip. And he's facing a Ranger squad who's definitely struggled at the plate here to start the year. Scored just 5 total runs in their 3-game set with the Reds. They also saw unders in most of their games this season. Same goes for Tampa Bay. I like the Rays plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. Next contest, Blue Jays Mets, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. The Mets are minus $1.30, total 7.5. Griffin Canning for New York, Chris Bassett for Toronto. Now, Bassett allowed just 1 run over 6 innings of work in his last start. 7 strikeouts on the day as well for the righty. This Blue Jays pitching staff, they've allowed just 2.6 runs a game in their last 5 outings. And no real surprise here, folks. The under cashed in all 5 of those games I just mentioned. Mets contest went 5-2 to the under this year themselves. Give me the Blue Jays plus $1.10, under 7.5. Next matchup, little NL Central action. Reds Brewers, 7:10 p.m. East. Cincinnati's minus $1.20, totals 8. Brady Singer for the Reds, Elvin Rodriguez for Milwaukee. Now, Elrod's had a bad spring and a shaky first start this year. 4 runs over 6 hits through just 4 innings of work. He did suffer the loss in that outing. Of course, at the plate, the Brewers really haven't scored a whole lot of runs. And they got to face Brady Singer, who had a good spring and a dominant start last time out. He allowed no runs and just 1 hit through 7 innings of work. And this Reds pitching staff as a whole, well, they've been pretty good over the past handful of games for the most part. I like Cincinnati minus $1.15, under 8. Next matchup, Marlins Braves, 7:15 East. Atlanta's minus 225, totals 8. A.J. Smith-Shawver for Atlanta, Cal Quantrill for Miami. And this is a pure fade of the Braves in this one. This is a ridiculous price point for a team who is not playing good baseball, struggling at the plate, not pitching well. A lot of unders for them. Give me Miami plus 1.5, under 8. Next breakdown, Mariners Giants, 9:05 East. San Francisco's minus $1.30, total 7. Robbie Ray for the Giants, Bryce Miller for Seattle. Miller's 0-1 with a 4.76 ERA. He allowed a homer and 6 hits in his season debut. They're facing a Giants club who's been good at the dish and pitching quite well. I like San Francisco minus $1.30, under 7. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Of course, if there's any games I missed here, there's a chance they could be used as premium selections on my page, so just keep that in mind. Maybe some of the games I gave out will be used for that as well. Only way to sign up, only way to find out, Gold Club membership. But anyway, Guardians, Angels, 9:38 East. Cleveland's minus $1.55, totals 8. Tanner Bybee for Cleveland, Jack Kokonowitz for Los Angeles. Now, Jack allowed 2 runs over 4 hits in his season debut. 6 innings of work for the righty in his last start. The Angels have a handful of wins already, and they've done a nice job at the plate. They're facing a Cleveland squad who's off to a bit of a slow start themselves, coming off a 3-game sweep to the Padres. Their pitchers allowed 19 runs in that 3-game series. I like the Angels plus 1.5, over 8. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. College basketball, Boise State minus 2, over 154.5. Villanova minus 3, under 156. I like the over 160 in that Florida-Auburn matchup. Under 136.5, Houston-Duke. NBA, Knicks minus 3.5, over 236. Over 239.5 in that Memphis-Detroit matchup. Timberwolves minus 14.5, over 225. Bucks minus 2, under 216. Give me the Clippers money line. That game's currently off the board. Baseball, White Sox plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. Padres plus $1, over 7. Yankees minus $1.55, over 9. I like the under 8.5 in that Dodgers-Phillies matchup. Diamondbacks minus 135, over 8.5. Rays minus 1.5. Rays plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. Blue Jays plus $1.10, under 7.5. Cincinnati Reds minus $1.15, under 8. Marlins plus 1.5, under 8 runs. Giants minus $1.30, under 7. Give me the Angels plus 1.5, over 8. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks, that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, Gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.